The shortstop, the cleanup hitter, hitting .364 this year, 6 home runs, 34 runs batted in, a senior. Solid mix of upperclassmen and underclassmen on this team. A lot of seniors and freshmen. Runner going, first pitch is low, the throw to third is in time. Oversliding the bases, Lushar. Strader kept the tag on. And for now, it's an out. We'll see if Oregon wants to challenge.
Yeah, she had a lot of momentum coming into that bag. I think they are going to want to look at this. Third base umpire Kevin Conder made the call. But from here, it looked like she just overslid and couldn't keep that left hand on. So really good awareness by Madeline Strader to keep the glove on the runner.
That's head coach Melissa Lombardi in her 7th year talking things over with our third base umpire, who today is Kevin Conder, with Brett Higgins calling balls and strikes and Ryan Grandy over at first.
Maybe just wanting an explanation of the call. No, they're going to have a chat. They're going to have a chat on this.
I guess they're going to look this over.
I can't see why they wouldn't. This is it's only the first inning, but in a game like this with Oregon on the road and wanting to get out to an early lead, they've put themselves into a pretty good spot. But now it's they're going to look at this. Looks like it'll be a challenge, I think, from Oregon.
Both teams get 2 challenges, and here we are on the top of the first. It's a big play, obviously, for Indiana. If you can get that second out and have just one runner in scoring position. That freshman from Colorado, hitting .338 this year. Both her parents played at Oklahoma. Her mom softball there with the Sooners, and her dad played baseball. Big spot in the first. Cox this year hitting .472 with runners on base and .462 with runners in scoring position. Although with 2 outs, Andrew, just .167. First pitch is a ball to Cox. Indiana has really struggled this year at home, I should say, preventing opponents from scoring in the top of the first inning. It would be massive if the Hoosiers could get out of this frame unscathed. For as long as it's been, it started at 6 o'clock on the nose, and we're already at 17 minutes for the top of the first. 1-1 inside, 2-1 to Cox. Her brother Jonah is in the San Francisco Giants organization, spent the last year with the Eugene Emeralds in High A. Fitting that it is in Oregon, so maybe she's gotten to a few of those games.
I'm sure.
3-1 now to the freshman catcher in the 5 spot, Des Patman, the right fielder, waiting on deck, hoping she gets a chance. Open bases at second. Here's 3-1. There's strike 2. Patman threw the bat, Cox threw the bat down, thinking it was ball 4, and was about a third of the way to first base and realized it was not ball 4.
So full and 2 outs.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 on for Oregon at the top of the first, trying to draw first blood. Copeland peers in, looks at the wristband, and delivers the full count offering. Now the off will do it again.
Huge leverage situation right here, already in the top of the first. Anything through the gap is going to score a valuable run, and will probably get Sinicki to third base.
She'll be on the move here again. The 3-2, hit on the ground sharply to Cooper. Stumbles, got to go to first, but makes the play in the very end. Lost her footing, but not her composure. And Indiana gets out of the first inning without giving up a run. Oregon leaves a pair on base. It was a lengthy top of the first inning. I think that's the longest top of the first we've seen all year at 18 minutes long, but it ends with a ground out. 6-3 stat bat against Grind. Grind, a transfer from Virginia Tech, spent 2 years with the Hokies, 22-11 in 218 innings there. And this year's having a ridiculously good year. Right now the front runner for Big Ten Pitcher of the Year, and she fires a first pitch strike to Copeland.
So much velocity on that. Copeland late on the first one.
These teams did meet last year in the very first game of the season down in Clearwater, Florida. Indiana won that game over a ranked Oregon squad 7-5, and Copeland was the star of the show, but well ahead on that one is Grind pulled the string.
She's got good velocity variation. That's going to be something that Indiana's hitters have to watch out for all night and all weekend.
Copeland had a triple and a home run last year in that opener. Looking for something similar here. 0-2, launches it outside.
Started a movement, decided not to go. high and out the whole way, it looked like.
Copeland also pitched in that game last year. 5 1/3, gave up just 2 runs, came in relief, struck out 8. Ended up getting the win. 1-2 to Copeland here inside. 2-2. Copeland, one of 3 seniors honored this weekend. Tomorrow is officially senior day, but in center field is the IU logo with the 3 numbers around it and the pennants out in left center field. Copeland, Minnick, and Kinsey Mitchell, 3 of the first 4 hitters are those 3 seniors. Copeland swings and misses, ball in the dirt, and the throw from Cox is made over to McCoy at first. And there's the first strikeout of the day for Grind.
Yeah, pretty good strikeout numbers on the year for Lindsey Grind. That makes it 171 on the 2025 campaign. It's kind of a best-on-best matchup here in this at-bat.
Now it's Taylor Minnick. This is the Big Ten Conference's best hitter against the Big Ten's best pitcher. First pitch is low. Minnick has a 12-game hitting streak and has been on base in the last 31 games. 1-0 is outside, it's 2-0.
Corner infielders are way in.
Minnick's not one that's going to bunt, I can tell you that much. Incredible power numbers with 14 long balls and 56 runs batted in. Both lead the team. Hitters count 2-0, fouls it straight back.
And Indiana has not been able to catch up to the velocity of Grind there in the circle thus far.
Yeah, Grind pitched in all 3 games against the Bruins over the weekend. Oregon did not have a midweek game this week. They flew out here on Wednesday to give themselves an extra day. 2-1 outside corner for strike 2. In that Sunday game, that 9-0 win via the run roll. 5 innings, a complete game. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, no runs, just 3 hits allowed. 2-2 home to Minnick. It's upstairs for ball 3. Full count with 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the first. Grind's delivery to Minnick. Down low for ball 4. It's going to be a battle between those 2 all weekend long. Minnick wins the first one and draws a 1-out walk.
That's huge. And you look at Minnick, I wouldn't imagine, obviously Indiana not as potent of a base stealing team, but they can move. You wonder if they might try and send Minnick just early in this game, try and get out to an early advantage, put a runner in scoring position.
Avery Parker now at the plate. First pitch fouls it straight back over everyone's head. Indiana 4th in the conference with 79 stolen bases, and Purdue's in 2nd with 82. So the Hoosiers could very easily, if they are aggressive this weekend, swipe bags. Although teams don't really steal against Oregon, just 27 attempts and 22 steals. A lot of respect for Cox behind the plate. 0-1 home to Parker. That's inside, barely. 1-1. Avery's got a 12-game hitting streak in her own right. On Wednesday against Ball State, she was 2 for 3 with a pair of runs, including a double in the bottom of the 4th as Indiana won via the run rule, 14-1. 1-1 with 1 out. Parker strokes this one into right field, but it's foul. Out of play into the Indiana bullpen.
Looks like it sort of, that one was kind of off the end of the bat and a little late on it. But that's one, I mean, if it's, you can sometimes draw a hit out of that if it just drops between the infielders and if the outfielders are playing deep.
Ryan's 1-2 home to Parker. That's low for ball 2. Good stop by Cox to keep Minnick at first. Taylor not a very big threat on the bases. That does have 8 stolen bases this year. So I guess it's 3rd best on the team, so I retract that statement. Two home. And is off the end of the bat into left on a line caught by Kai Lushar. Back to first base goes Minnick, and there's the 2nd out. Solid contact by Parker.
Yeah, but just right place, right time. Lushar was barely had to take a couple of steps to her left to make a play on that ball. Pretty routine. And Kinsey Mitchell, who again, it's quality hitting all the way down this lineup for the Hoosiers. 407 on the year for Mitchell, and it's been pretty good with runners on as well, around that 500 mark.
First pitch low and away, ball 1. 17 pitches in this inning for Grind. Copeland needed 24 to get through the first. A couple base runners, but Oregon stranded 2. 1-0 to Mitchell. That's low and outside again for ball 2.
So both these pitchers kind of struggling to find the zone early. A little bit surprising. Yeah, I mean, especially from Grind's side, but really both.
And Grind trying to maybe find a grip on the softball as she replaced the one she just had.
She's done that a couple of times.
Grind's got a whip under 1, so averaging less than a base runner per inning, and with Minnick on first base, Indiana already has a base runner in the bottom of the first. Looking for more. 2-0 home to Mitchell. And there's a strike on the outside corner to make it 2-1.
You saw that Cox rolled her hand over to drag that back into the zone, and it worked. That's a good frame.
Copeland put up a 0 in the first. Grind looking to respond. 2-1. Fouled away. Left field, now play.
We saw one of those same pitches in the previous at-bat to Parker that was called a ball just outside, or rather inside to Parker. So Cox learned from that and then dragged it back in there. I guess Lindsey Grind is not a fan of the softballs that they've got right now. They're trying to find some more, I guess.
Yeah, I think there was 1 or 2 of them that she really didn't like, and we'll see if she likes this one that Brett Higgins just threw her. Nods and says, all right, I like this one.
See how long that lasts.
It's the second time this year that Oregon has made a trip to the East Coast. They demolished Rutgers in a 2-game sweep, I should say. Beat them both via the run rule. Combined scores, Andrew, 41-3.
Oh, okay, wow. Yeah, that's, yeah.
To be fair, Rutgers at the bottom of the Big Ten.
Right.
Oregon is very clearly at the top. So,
Yeah.
you know, David versus Goliath, and Goliath did end up winning both of those. Full count here to Mitchell with 2 outs. Out straight back.
Running up the pitch count. This is good for Indiana. This is what they want to see.
22 now for Grind in the first.
Keeping it on pace with what Copeland was at.
Nearly 200 pitches for Grind over the weekend against UCLA. 3-2 again. Mitchell fouls it off again.
Barely got to that. Her barrel was under that. And she was late, kind of hesitated, had a hitch in that swing, and just fouled it. That's a lucky break.
Mitchell's been on base the last 8 games. On Wednesday was 2 for 3 with 3 runs. A pair of singles in the first 2 innings. Philcon offering again. Upstairs, ball 4. What an at-bat by Kinsey Mitchell. That is a senior in the lineup that just wins a battle. So 2 walks in this inning for the Hoosiers. Copeland walked a pair on the top of the first, and now Grind has walked 2 in the bottom half. And it brings up Allie Van Brandt.
Van Brandt, again,
tells you what you need to know about the
sure
Indiana
does.
offense.
Yeah. She's not a big power hitter, but get the bat
Backdoor
on the
to
ball.
second. Safe is Minnick. A little bit late reacting, didn't slide, but
Ở trong này á, cục pin ở
got
trong
her
đây á.
foot in there in time.
Làm gì có. Đi tìm cục pin đâu
Job by
xem nào.
Grind to get out of the way of that too.
Thế sao bạn đây ở trong đây làm gì có đâu.
1-1 to Van Brandt, fouls it off. Ricochets in and out of the hands of an Oregon
Oh,
fan.
he's got to catch that. Come on.
Oh, he got it in the end, Andrew. You
I
wouldn't
know.
have made that play.
Yes,
Calm
I
down.
would
Oh,
have.
no, you would not have.
Yes, I would.
I've seen you play basketball. You're never catching that.
Okay.
He's got it in the end, and that's what matters.
Yep.
There's a lot of Oregon fans here, I must
There
say.
are, yeah, they've traveled well.
A lot of green and white, green and yellow, I should say.
Yep. I keep thinking back to that Oregon traveled to Rutgers. That's quite literally a cross-country flight.
That's the definition. That's probably the longest. I guess Washington to Rutgers,
Yeah.
in terms of Big Ten teams, would be longer.
Yeah. It's further away than Maryland is.
I guess USC could be.
UCLA maybe.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it would be Washington. But it's
right.
still all across the country. You
Yeah,
know.
I think
It's pretty
Yeah, LA is, I think, more south than we think.
It's more of a straight line, probably.
2-2, Van Brandt in the air. This one will get foul. Bounces up and over the Oregon dugout.
We're not trying to do a geography class here.
No, no.
Neither of us are close to qualified for that.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on for Indiana in the bottom of the first, trying to draw first blood against Lindsey Grind. 2-2 again. Van Brandt deep in the air to right field, carrying back, track wall, out of here! Allie Van Brandt, her second home run in as many games. Just her 4th of her career. The Hoosiers up 3-0 in the first against the Big Ten's best.
You said it, most underrated hitter? Maybe not anymore. She's on a hot streak. This is a huge moment for the Hoosiers, and everybody here is loving it. Getting to Grind early is huge for Indiana. You can't state that enough. She's only allowed 8 home runs on the season. In the, 26, 30-odd games she's played, 37, 38th appearances.
18th start.
A clip that you just don't really see a lot, and getting to now 3-run lead, huge.
Just the 23rd home run that Oregon has given up this year. Off the bat of Allie Van Brandt. Didn't have a single home run last year. She's got 4 this year.
She crushed that ball.
Yeah, that ball was a no-doubter. That was close to the pavement, which is, an extra 20, 30 feet beyond the fence. Now it's Melina Wilkinson's turn, and there is a buzz around Bloomington. Strike 1, it's 1-1. You can just see Shauna Stanton in the third base coaching box, at least we can.
Yep.
And she is fired up. The pressure, she said, is not on this team this weekend. Oregon's the team chasing for the Big Ten title. Although Indiana needs wins to get into the tournament against a really good team like Oregon, the RPI is only going to go up after this weekend.
If you can catch a win, that's so big. Right, the RPI will not take a hit if you lose games.
1-2 on the ground to Sinicki. Throw across, gets Wilkinson, but not before the Hoosiers draw first blood. A 3-run home run with 2 outs for Allie from California. At her 3rd different school, spent 2 years at North Carolina A&T, and then last year at New Mexico State. Career .339 hitter. In .311, 1-0 home to her. And on the ground, easy for Strader. Up with it, a high throw, but a good job from Bird. Comes off the bag, but applies the tag. First out in the second.
Great read from Bird to notice that she wasn't going to be able to get to the bag back in time, but fortunately the throw kind of led her into the path of the runner, Patman. She was able to make an easy tag.
This is an Oregon team which mashes the softball. 67 home runs as a team. That's top 20 in the nation. And in the Big Ten, it's 4th. Ohio State is 123, which is ridiculous. Nebraska's 2nd. Indiana's played both of those teams this year. They took a game off both the Buckeyes and the Cornhuskers for a pair of ranked wins and are ahead here looking for their 3rd ranked victory of 2025. Next pitch is low to Jones. It's 3-0. The second baseman Jones hitting .300, a freshman from Texas. Top 10 player according to Extra Innings Softball. Started playing in Japan at the age of 9. It's a 4-pitch walk to Jones, her 22nd walk of the year. So 3 walks in the first inning plus for Copeland, inning and a third, I should say. And now Brazy Rosa, the designated player, will dig in for the first time.
Jones started in Japan at 9.
Yep.
Across, wow, that's impressive to say the least.
$15 stolen bases this year. First pitch outside to Rosa.
You can see Avery Parker. She's checking on any base runner. She did in the first as well.
1-0 is a tad bit low. It's 2-0 here to Rosa.
She's ready to throw one down if she needs to, and we'll have a meeting in the circle.
As soon as Stanton kind of recognizes after a walk and then the first 2 balls in the next batter, kind of feeling that Copeland needs an extra second to compose herself, take a deep breath. Rosa had just 3 at-bats last year in 8 games, but was selected for Team Polynesia's 18U All-Star team in 2021 and 2022. 7th best catcher according to Extra Innings Softball's Top 100. Sophomore from Hawaii. When your 8 hitter is hitting 279, it tells you the lineup is pretty deep, and both these offenses, 2 of the best in the conference and in some rights the country, as we just mentioned, with the home run power that Oregon has. They have 67 home runs, Indiana with 55. 8-hitter Rosa digs back in, waits on this 2-0. Inside, ball 3. Hitters count here for Rosa. See if she gets the green light. Nope, it's ball 4. Back-to-back walks again for Copeland. She's got 4 walks in this one after not walking a single Ball State Cardinal on Wednesday. And now the 9-hitter, Katie Flannery, will step in the righty batter's box with a chance to drive in a pair or tie the game with 1 swing. Flannery, a sophomore from Alabama, top 3rd baseman according to Extra Innings Softball. 9 home runs for her this year. A 10th would tie this game. First pitch, that's outside.
This might be one where Oregon wants to sort of push the pace on the base paths here.
Jones has speed on second. Rosa just 3 stolen bases this year on first. Already been caught once today. There's a strike.
Could get you over pitch.
Copeland felt like just really needed to see one. 1-1 with 1 out and 2 on. Big spot for Flannery. It's it on the ground hard. Cooper stops it from her knees, throws to first. It's not in time. Flannery legs out an infield single. Good job from Cooper to keep it in the infield. Then a strong throw from her knees. Just a tad bit tardy. Now the bases are loaded with 1 out for Kai Lushar. The lineup card flips over.
It's a really tough time for Indiana to now have to face the top of the lineup for the Ducks.
Lushar walked in the first on 5 pitches.
Double play would end the inning. That would be obviously best case scenario for Indiana.
Infield playing in here. Ground ball. The Hoosiers are potentially going home with it. Oregon making some noise in the dugout. First pitch to the slapper Lushar. There's strike 1. Big for Copeland to get ahead. Lushar was caught stealing as well at third. Inside pitch, just fouls it off, and Copeland's ahead 0-2.
Almost got it down. It's a high, goal is to put it high over the 3rd baseman Strader's head and force her to either put herself in an awkward position or not get it at all.
Lines the 0-2 foul. Nearly hit the 3rd base coach, the associate head coach, Sam Martyr, in her 4th year at the helm. A graduate of Ohio State back in 2010. She still holds the Buckeye career records for home runs, RBIs, and walks, an inductee into the Buckeye Hall of Fame in 2016. 0-2 is high, it gets away from Parker. Here comes the runner, and that's going to be the first run of the game. Jones hesitated and realized. So it's an RBI single for Lushar. She gets to second base, but Flannery is out at home. So now 2 outs. It's a 3-2 game, a 2 spot for Oregon. The tying run 120 feet away. Riley McCoy up. She walked in the first. Takes the first pitch outside here in the second. Make it 2-0.
Lushar's speed. Gotta keep an eye on her.
So Kai does get credit. As there's ball 3 for her 15th run batted in of the year. 3-0 here on McCoy. Make it ball 4. Pair of walks for McCoy in this game. Now 2 on for Kedri Lushar.
Already 5 walks for Copeland.
Yeah.
4 pitches straight. It's the second time we've seen a 4-pitch walk.
First pitch to Lushar, fouled off for strike 1. Last year, Copeland had 96 walks and 189 innings pitched, and this year, with, you said 5, right? 5 walks
5
already
today, yep.
She's got 90 walks and just over 110 innings pitched. There's one fouled over to the first base side. Nice play by the first base coach, Alyssa Palomino Cardoza, in her 4th year at the helm, a graduate from Arizona in 2021. Copeland has dealt with the walks this year. Command hasn't quite been there compared to has been in her first 3 years. 0-2 is up and away.
Just to see if Lushar would offer at that. No need to challenge her on an 0-2 count there with 2 away.
Still in Copeland's favor, the count, 1-2, strike 3. She painted the outside corner to end the inning. The Ducks get 2 back, but they all things off the freshman on an 8-game hitting streak. Third baseman from Texas takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Top 30 overall prospect according to Extra Innings. Also earned a letter in basketball. Having an incredible first year in Bloomington. Takes the 1-0 outside, it's 2-0.
Yeah, Strader looks like a talent that is going to have an impact for this team and Shauna Stanton's teams for many years to come.
2-0 to Strader. That's in there for a strike. And Indiana leads the country in batting average, doubles per game, and on base percentage. Oregon's one of the best pitching staffs in the country. It is strength versus strength, unstoppable force versus immovable object,
That's
if you
right.
will.
Yep.
Quickly 3-1 on Strader, and Cox goes out to talk things over with Grine. In the outfield for Oregon, we'll give you the defense. It's Kai Lushar in left, Kedri Lushar in center, Patman in right. Flannery, Sinicki, Jones, and McCoy third to first, and Cox is catching Grine. So that conversation was quick. We'll see what the 3-1 pitch is here to Strader. She fouls it off, muscles one towards the Oregon bullpen, out of play. You just feel for Indiana. They can get one game this weekend, one win this weekend against Oregon. And obviously they want to win all of them and feel that they can. That's a confident team. But just one would do a ton to their NCAA tournament hopes.
Yeah. I was curious. Look at that. See some darker clouds off to our left.
Yeah,
here.
I have been too.
It looks like.
Wait on the meteorology here after this pitch, and then Strader goes down swinging. A nice strikeout to start things off in this inning for Grine, her second strikeout of the game.
It's big to get her settled in as well. Anyway, 7:10, 7:15, we may see some rain around here based on what the Weather Channel website tells me. Hopefully no lightning, that's the goal.
Yeah. Always the goal. First pitch to Bird in there for a strike. The first baseman, another freshman in this Indiana lineup, hitting .278 this year, a pair of home runs, 10 runs batted in, has basically earned her way into an everyday role with her defense. Makes the changeup on the ground foul outside third. It's 0-2.
Yeah, that was a swing with a lot of intent that just kind of turned into a half swing to just get the bat on the ball.
Junior on freshman, 0-2 home. Cut on and miss for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the second for Grine.
Now this is the Grine that we're used to seeing. This is the Grine that is best in the country in hits per game.
Now it's Alex Cooper's turn, the shortstop. Gotten on base in her past 7 games. Sophomore from Mooresville, Indiana, takes a first pitch strike. .337 for Cooper this year, 3 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Takes strike 2. That outside corner to lefties has been called a lot.
Yeah, and she's going to hammer that every time until it stops getting called.
3 plate appearances that Cooper had on Wednesday. Just 1 at bat though. She walked twice. Takes ball 1. 2 outs, nobody on. Indiana with a 3 spot in the bottom of the first, courtesy of an Allie Van Brandt 3-run home run. Oregon got 2 of them back in the top of the second. And how about striking out the side for Lindsey Grind? Strader strikeout, Bird strikeout, Cooper strikeout. The end of 2. Cox responded with 2 in the top of the second. Now we head to the third. It's Paige Sinicki, Emma Cox, and Des Patton to lead things off for Oregon. 4, 5, and 6. Sinicki singled in the first, takes a first pitch strike against Bree Copeland.
And Copeland just threw her 50th pitch of the game. So it feels like in the pitching duel, the momentum sort of shifted in that last inning towards Oregon.
I feel like it's just going to be a pendulum swing this
It will.
entire
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
Teams just trading blows in what should be a heavyweight fight.
You would think, based on how these two teams have been playing, especially in recent form.
1-1. That's a little bit outside. 2-1.
The Oregon dugout is extremely loud. They've got their chance going.
Trying to fire up their team. Sinicki drills that one deep into left field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is a foul ball. Ooh, not by much.
That couldn't have been more than 2 feet outside of the foul pole. That was close.
A long, loud strike. And it makes it 2-2. It's the first meeting between these teams ever in Bloomington. The Hoosiers won the previous 2. They won 1 in 2010. There's a liner. Oh, what a play by Alex Cooper! Ranging to her left and taking away a base hit from Paige Sinicki.
What a snag. The reaction times and full extension for Cooper to go get that ball. What a play from the Indiana shortstop.
The Indiana defense has been at its best, and now Emma Cox takes the first pitch low. Cooper has incredible range. And someone who started the year at third base, now playing shortstop. Indiana said they like the move because they like to range more and they like Strader's backhand at third base. She got down and dirty to make that play. Cox grounded out to Alex Cooper in the first, now up 2-0 here in the third. But Indiana won this game last year when the teams met in Florida, 7-5. The Hoosiers took the first meeting in Las Vegas back in 2010, 5-4. So a pair of close games these teams have played, and these 3 games should be close ones as well, and both teams are at their best. 2-0, that misses. It's 3-0 to Cox. And Oregon's making Copeland know how many straight balls they've thrown.
Done it every time.
4-pitch walk, 6th walk of the evening already for Copeland.
This doesn't feel like one where Indiana's gonna look to replace Copeland anytime soon.
Indiana's got, as I mentioned, 2 ranked victories. Oregon's got 6 of them. They picked up a pair against UCLA last weekend. And I think this is going to be the end for now for Bree Copeland. It's all hands on deck, as Shauna Stanton told us before the game. And with Copeland's lack of finding the strike zone, and Reyes, the other freshman, is getting ready to deliver her first pitch. And as soon as she finished her warm pitches, the rain started to fall. And now the umpiring crew talking things over with Shauna Stanton. And let's try this again from Andy Moore. Field first pitch is low for ball 1. And we are so back. This is Big Ten softball after dark.
That's right. 1 out. Remember that out was Paige Sinicki. She lined out on that amazing diving play from Alex Cooper. That feels like it was yesterday.
There's ball 2. So Copeland so far 2 1/3 under her belt, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, both in the last inning, 6 walks to 1 strikeout. Make it 3-0 here.
Yeah, she struggled to find the zone today for sure.
Iya.
There's ball 4, a 4-pitch walk right after the delay.
Quạt sạc nhanh.
That is
Quạt.
Copeland's 7th walk of the year. 7th walk of the day, evening, night, whatever we're calling it. First and second now with 1 out for Kaylin Jones.
I don't know what time is anymore, Platt.
My computer tells me it's 10:03.
Well, that must be right.
Đúng rồi.
Jones, the lefty slapper back up, takes a first pitch strike. She walked and scored back in the 2nd inning.
Sáng rồi.
I'll be interested to see
There's a swinging strike.
if we see a ball get hit into the outfield. I wonder if it'll
Tối lên, có nằm ngủ
have
dậy,
more of a
tối
dampened
nào.
bounce because of the wet ground. They did their best to clear out all the standing water, but it's definitely still soaked.
0-2. That one is lined foul towards the Oregon dugout. And it's the Ducks making all the noise right now. They have left 2 runners on in each of the first 2 innings, although they did score 2 in that last frame. Number 5 team in the country, the Oregon Ducks, 41-5 overall, 14-2 in Big Ten play. Oh, 2, hit to Cooper. She'll go to Strader for 1, the lead runner. That's all they'll get. They cut down Cox at third base, but a good job of the left side of the Indiana infield to gather the 2nd out of the inning, as Jones takes the place of Patman, and Patman takes the place of Cox on second base.
Smart play to just get that lead runner. That's all you need, and Jones will get there on a fielder's choice.
Now it's Bracy Rosa, also walked and scored in the last
Tối
inning.
à? Mẹ bảo
Trying to
là
come
cái
through with
tối
2
cơ
outs
mà.
and tie this game. First pitch is low. There was a play at the plate in the last inning as Flannery tried to come around and score on a hit from Kai Lushar, but Taylor Minnick gunned her out. 1-0, that's up and away, it's 2-0. Two and 0, hitters count here for Rosa, takes a strike.
And I think Oregon's at a place where they don't need to swing unless Brianna Copeland's going to offer them something to swing at.
Right on cue, that was a pitch to hit, fouled off, and now it's 2-2 with 2 outs. Copeland has kind of been flirting with disaster this entire outing.
To her credit, she's managed to avoid it up until now.
Very good Oregon team, which averages around 8 runs a game and 9 hits a contest. 348 average as a team. That pitch just missed inside. She got that call to end the top of the 2nd on Kedri Lushar. That was to the lefty hitter.
And now, looks like the home plate umpire is heading over to talk to John DeStanton, I think. I don't know if they're looking at if the runners went early.
Nhặt lên cho mẹ nào, nhặt lên.
Who knows?
Well, as if we've had enough delays in this game.
Yeah, right.
Rồi, đây đây.
We had 2 reviews in the top of the first inning. Both of them were lengthy. Obviously a 3-hour-ish rain delay.
3-8, yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure. Here we go.
Apparently the home plate umpire, we're getting told, is frustrated at the Indiana crowd. 3-2 is outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Flannery, the 9-hitter.
8 walks now.
Flannery singled in the 2nd, and then, as I mentioned, she was out on the next batter trying to take home on a single as she started on second base. First pitch is inside.
And she's driven in 41 runs this year, tied for the team lead.
167 this year with the bases loaded. 1-0, 2-0, nowhere to put her. Tying run is 60 feet away for Oregon, courtesy of Des Patton. Jones on second, Rosa on first. 2 outs in this third inning, which started a little over 3 hours ago. 2-0 from Copeland. There's a strike. It's 2-1.
Something into the outfield will probably score 2 for Oregon.
If not more,
Right.
with the way they run. That one just misses, and now it's 3-1. Another ball would tie this game up. And at the top of the order, waiting on deck with Kai Lushar, could bat for the 3rd time in as many innings. 3-1. Upstairs, that missed by a mile, and it is ball 4. This game is tied at 3. 4 walks this inning for Copeland, 3 after the rain delay in 4 batters. Flannery gets an RBI for her patience.
For 42nd, I think. And yeah, like you said, brings up the top.
Lushar takes a strike. Kai today is 1 for 1 with a walk.
The Oregon dugout chanting, "We love free bases," which I suppose is true.
0-1 is fouled into the screen. 0-2. Copeland now 1 strike away from getting out of this meth, relatively speaking, unscathed. And we talked to Shauna Stanton before the game, some 6 hours ago-ish. And she mentioned that, you know, giving up 60 feet is fine, but you can't give up any more than that. But to be fair, Copeland has 9 walks today. That's 60 feet times 9, 540 feet.
Yeah, good math.
Thank you. 1-2 with 2 outs. Swung on and fouled, tipped. Parker couldn't squeeze it, and Lushar keeps this inning alive. Tied at 3 here between the Hoosiers and Oregon Ducks. For just joining us here on Big Ten Plus. You missed the first 2 1/3 innings. After there was a pitching change, it looked like Jasmine Reyes was going to come into pitch. The rain started and a long delay began. 1-2 hit on the ground. Nice play by Van Brandt. Flips to first, not in time. A run scores. Jones crosses home. Oregon has the lead. And Lushar legs out an infield single. Van Brandt tried her best. And the Ducks down 3-0. Now lead 4-3.
Wow, what speed from Lushar to leg that one out. That was a close play, and a high chopper from Lushar executed to perfection. Great play.
She picks up her 2nd RBI of the day. 16th total. Now it's Riley McCoy, I should say. Now's the first pitch off. She's got 2 walks and 2 plate appearances. So it was a tight game when the teams met last year. The very first game of the season. Indiana ended up winning 7-5. They were up 5-3 after 2 innings. And a lot of runs early here. 0-1 inside,
Hit her.
and I believe, yeah, that hit her on the foot. So another free pass. This time it's McCoy, who's walked twice and now been hit. And now it's 5-3, Oregon with the lead.
Looks like she's okay, which is good. And now they'll call time.
Được. Đấy, mẹ vừa nói xong. Không, xuống nhặt đi.
Second Lushar just
Nào,
needed
làm đổ thì
a
xuống nhặt
sliding
nhanh.
glove.
Mẹ đang để
Sliding
vào trong
hit,
đấy
rather.
tử tế rồi ai bảo con
Fifth
lấy
hit
ra như
by
thế.
pitch for
Nhặt
McCoy
hết lên
this
cho mẹ
year.
đã.
Oregon has now been hit
lên,
39
mẹ sang
times
tiếp.
this year as a team. Struggles for Copeland with their command have continued.
Yep.
Nhặt hết lên rồi mẹ cho ăn tiếp.
15th
Nhanh,
hit
đưa
batter
đây.
for Bree this year.
Nhặt
There's
đưa
a
vào
wild
mẹ, tay
pitch,
mẹ.
but a nice
Một hạt,
bounce off
nhặt
the
hết lên.
backstop
Kia
for
kìa. Dưới kia
Parker.
kìa. Rơi hết xuống đấy của
Keeps
mẹ rồi.
Flannery on third.
Ai bảo
That
con
was
làm rơi
lucky.
con nhặt đi.
That ball can really kick anywhere once it hits off those pads, and
Mẹ đang để vào trong đây tử tế rồi
Came
ai
right
bảo con
back
nhặt
to-
làm rơi. Đấy con nhặt đi.
Avery Parker.
Already seen one Oregon Ducks score via the wild pitch. That was nearly a second. And there's a strike to make it 1-1 from Copeland.
Đưa cho mẹ xem nào.
Kedri Lushar is the 9th
No.
batter to hit in this third inning for Oregon. Paige Sinicki, who led the inning off with that line out, as Alex Cooper made a phenomenal highlight reel play. There's another wild pitch. Here comes the runner, and the flip is not in time. Scoring is Flannery. And this nightmare of an inning continues for the Hoosiers. It's a 4 spot for Oregon, and it's 6-3. They have just 1 hit in this inning. So Oregon making all the noise right now. 1-1, and that hit Bluchar. So the run, Kai cannot score, but her younger sister Kedri can reach base. Back-to-back hit by pitches here for Copeland. Ever since the rain delay, walk, fielder's choice, walk, walk, infield single, hit by pitch, hit by pitch.
Not the most ideal restart to this game by any means.
So Sinicki can step back in the box. 2 outs in the top of the 3rd. It's a 6-3 lead for Oregon. And now I think the pitching change, which kind of felt inevitable. Copeland facing Lindsey Grine, the top pitcher in the Big Ten. Power on power matchup here. First pitch is inside to Copeland, who struck out back in the 1st against Grine. Just 1 hit for Indiana. It was the biggest hit of the game at the time, an Allie Van Brandt 3-run shot. There's a strike to make it 1-1.
Well, to be honest, it's still probably the biggest hit of the game, considering these two teams have only combined for 5, and there's been double the amount of runs put on board.
There have been a few chop singles as well. There have not been many balls that have actually left the infield on the fly.
Yep.
2-1 now on Copeland.
Probably should have been 1 more if it wasn't for that diving play from Alex Cooper.
Right. 3-1 now on Copeland, and we'll see if Grine has the same issues with command that Copeland did.
I don't know if the rain picked up the plate and moved it. It's possible.
They've cleared off the plate, so I think the pitchers can see it, though it's not that obvious. There's one into center field. Easy for Kedri Bluchar. She's got it for the 1st out of the 3rd. Dating back to pre-rain delay, Grine has retired the last 5 Indiana hitters after the Van Brandt home run.
And she struck out the side in the bottom of the 2nd as well. That was pretty dominant. Up to 4 strikeouts on the day. But this 2-3-4 part of the Indiana lineup, not easy.
Now it's Taylor Minnick. Takes a strike on the outside corner. She walked and scored back in the 1st, worked an incredible at-bat against Grine. Lindsay misses outside. 1-1 with 1 out, nobody on base. 53 pitches for Grine. She had really struggled in the 1st through nearly 30, but settled down in the 2nd and has 1 out after facing 1 batter in the 3rd, and blows 1 past Minnick for strike 2.
Yeah, had a lot of speed on it, and Minnick was trying to go deep there. Wants to put a charge into 1.
She was down in the last at-bat, worked to walk. Can't she do the same here? 1-2, drilled into right center field. This ball is carrying, and it is off the wall. Minnick to 2nd, she slides in safely, and that is an Indiana program record. Her 55th career double and her 20th double of the season both break all-time records here at Indiana University. I don't think she expected to do it at 10:22 local time, but congratulations, Taylor Minnick.
Well, a record's a record, and you knew with that ball, regardless of the throw, she's not going to push that to 3. She's going to take her 2, and congratulations to her. What a step.
Is that what can get Indiana going back in this game? They trail. Parker, first pitch, drills it. Left center field. It's going to stay in the yard. It's caught by Bluchar. To 3rd base goes Minnick. Now, some of the Indiana fans here thought that Parker had cut the deficit in half, but it just stays in the yard. Runner on 3rd now with 2 outs, as the action is really ramping back up.
Thank goodness for it. It's keeping everybody awake, and the Hoosiers are getting the bat on the ball, which is, I mean, it's good to see after that second inning where they just got carved up by Lindsey Grine out there in the circle.
Back-to-back deep shots by Minnick and Parker. Now it's Kinsey Mitchell, worked a walk in the first, successfully checks her swing, according to third base umpire Kevin Conder.
Okay, that one was just a little bit high as well.
One and 0 to Mitchell with Minnick on third. There's a strike to make it 1-1.
Hey, props to the Oregon student radio guy who's out there. He's grinding it out.
He had to cover up all of his equipment.
Oh, yeah.
As Mitchell fouls one straight back. Kinsey hitting .433 with 2 outs this year. Meanwhile, opponents are hitting just .109 with runners on base and .120 with 2 outs. So something's got to give here. 1-2 misses upstairs.
It's a good take from Mitchell. Don't want to get caught swinging at a high fastball.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Grimes, next pitch. Called strike 3. Mitchell goes down looking. The Hoosiers strand a runner on third. And the frustrations for Indiana continue after the rain delay. 7-play tournament, so both teams could use wins for totally different reasons. Patman will get things started. The right fielder takes one up and in for ball 1. She walked in the third. She was the first batter after the delay. Also grounded out in the second. So 3 plate appearances for her in 3 straight innings. Taylor Hess out there for her first full inning of work. Got the final out of the third, faced 2 batters. Down 2-0 against Patman. 2-0 home from Hess. There's a strike. Hess has really not pitched much. She's basically been Indiana's 4th and final option. But Indiana really likes to play the matchups. 2-1 is hit well out to center. Wilkinson back to the track and makes the catch right in front of the wall for the first out here in the 4th.
That's a harder play than it looks, Austin. It's well done to backtrack, keep the eye on the ball, not get it lost in the lights, and outs and out.
Center fielders have had to be busy
Sure.
in this game. Jones now back up, the second baseman. Jones, as we mentioned some 4 hours ago, started playing in Japan at the age of 9. The slap hitter takes one outside. Her dad was a fire chief for the government military, so she's moved all over the place, Andrew.
That makes sense.
She's previously lived in Italy, Japan, and California, and now lives in Texas.
Wow.
It's a lot of miles covered.
And lives in Eugene during the school year.
Right.
Wow. That's she's well traveled, I would say.
1-1 with 1 out. There's strike 2. We've seen Hess at times this year really quiet opposing offenses down. She did that last week against Nebraska, albeit Indiana was already down big by that point. They ended up losing 12-4 via the run rule. 1-2 is up and away. This is one of the best conferences this year in softball. The additions of Oregon, UCLA, and Washington have helped tremendously. UCLA, Oregon, the top 2 right now. Washington is 9-6 in the conference. That one is line foul right between the legs of the third base coach, Sam Martyr.
Split the wickets there. That was a good play to get out of the way of that one. That's the speed on it, too.
She's got a smile on her face, definitely hearing it from the dugout.
Oh, yeah. Very good
Ball's in,
softball
2
player
strikes.
in her own right. We talked about it today.
It's a good way to put it.
Yep.
Everything has happened today. It's still Friday in the grand scheme of things. There's one line foul. Sends a few ducks off the front step.
If this game goes into extras, then it might not be Friday anymore.
I mean, it's 10:30 right now.
That's
There's
right.
a chance if it goes the way the first inning did. And it could be Saturday when this is over. Jones calls time, and we'll talk things over. She is 0 for 1 today, but does have a pair of runs scored.
Well, Oregon really hasn't taken a lot of official at-bats, considering they've been walked 10 times. Only struck out once.
4 for 12 at the plate in those limited at-bats. That one is hit the other way, foul from Jones. Oregon 4 for 12 at the plate. Indiana just 2 for 11. But it's a 7-3 game. The scoreboard does not tell the entire story of this game. The time of the game certainly will.
Yes.
2-2 with one out. That one is on a line towards right in front of Kinsey Mitchell for a base hit. So Kaylin Jones picks up her first knock of the day.
A normal play in this softball game.
Yeah, it is softball. That has stayed the same.
Yes,
Everything else has changed, but we're still playing softball.
Yes, we are. And normal play that we have not seen a lot of normalcy today. I think that's safe to say.
So just the 5th hit of the game for Oregon, even though they have 7 runs. And now it's Bracy Rosa, the designated player. 2 walks and 2 runs for her today. Sophomore from Hawaii takes a pitch up and in.
And Josie Bird is really creeping in here on the first base foul line. She's trying to prevent a little swinging bunt from moving some ducks on the paths.
1-1 with 1 out to Rosa. Runner on first is Jones. She's got 15 stolen bases, been caught just once. That one is inside, nearly clips Rosa. Rosa just one of 2 sophomores in the starting lineup. Flannery behind her is the other sophomore. And then 4 seniors and 3 freshmen. So no juniors in this lineup. 2-1, although to be fair, Lindsey Grind is a junior, but it's her first year with Oregon.
Right.
Spent the first 2 years with Virginia Tech. The Ducks hoping to give her a little more of a cushion here. They're already up by 4. The 3-1 is outside, ball 4. Second walk given up today by Hess. And now first and second for the Ducks with 1 out. And Flannery, the third baseman, will return to the plate. 11 walks that Indiana has given up tonight. First pitch to Flannery is inside. Oregon has been great on the road this year. 11-2. Also 13-0 in neutral site games. Both these teams have not lost a neutral site game. 25 wins combined between the two. 1-0. There's a strike from Hess to make it 1-1. 1 out, top of the 4th. Oregon with 2 runs in the second and 5 runs in the third. Up 7-3. They've scored the last 7 points. And there's a strike.
Sequence of good pitches there from Hess.
One could say after Indiana kicked an opening drive field goal, it's been a touchdown since from Oregon. 1-2. Chopped foul, just staying alive, is the 9-hitter Flannery. Lushar licking her chops on deck.
There's only been one other time this season when Indiana, as a pitching staff, has walked double-digit batters. That was in the first game against Maryland.
1-2 is cut on and missed for strike 3. There's a big second out. Hess sits down Flannery. Katie strikes out for the 19th time this year, and Hess picks up just her 11th strikeout of 2025, but it comes at a big time. 2 down. Now the lineup card flips over for Lushar, who's 2 for 2 with a walk and a run. Lefty on lefty matchup. Lushar shows bunt, takes a strike.
That Maryland game that I mentioned, they walked 15 batters.
And that was in that crazy
20-10, yeah.
Yep. Another game marred by a big rain delay. There's a bunt laid down, Strader charging, fires to first and throws it away. Into right field. That'll score 1. That may score 2. Going to third is Lushar. She takes advantage. And another 2 runs really handed to Oregon by the Hoosiers. That's where the grip on the ball, you just don't quite have it completely firm in your hand. And Van Brandt taps Hess says, hey, that's my bad, not your fault. Both Jones and Rosa score. It makes it a 9-3 game. First error charged against the Hoosiers today. Now it's Riley McCoy. She's been on base 3 times, doesn't have an official at-bat.
I imagine that'll be scored as an error against Strader.
Yeah, it was against Strader, I should say. It was Van Brandt covering first base, but she didn't have a shot at it. It was a really good bunt laid down by Lushar, so it's an E5, which allows 2 runs to score, both of them unearned. But it is piling up for Indiana. After scoring 3 in the bottom of the first and leading 3-0 after the first and leading 3-0 after the 3-2 after the second. Since then, it just hasn't been the same. Passes ahead here on McCoy, 1-2, with Lushar on third base. Kedry Lushar waiting on deck. 1-2, just gets a piece. Count stays that way.
It feels like when we were heading into the top of the second that Indiana had that momentum on their side, that big home run from Allie Van Brandt. Put them up 3-0, and then 2 were scored in the second. Indiana about held scoreless since, like you said.
1-2, lifted in the air, foul side of first. It'll get out of play. And Lushar is the dangerous one on base with 48 stolen bases. She was caught earlier in this game for just the 7th time this year. Leads the country in stolen bases. You mentioned Oregon 3rd in the country coming in. The Ducks have just 1 stolen base today as a team. 1-2. McCoy again fouls this one back. She's starting to time up Hess here. So still 1-2.
Maybe Hess goes to some sort of velocity change if maybe a change up if she's got it.
Kentucky transfer. Did not play last year. Trying to get out of this inning. 1-2 is low. It's 2-2. Gatorade Player of the Year nominee. She's from Minnesota. Pitched 5 no-hitters in her junior year of high school with a sub-1 ERA.
Just her junior year. All right.
18 shutouts as well. 3 perfect games.
Wow.
So 3 of those 5 no-hitters, you didn't give up a single base runner. 2-2 hit the other way. Bird knocks it down, recovers, applies the tag, and that does it for the 4th inning. While Indiana hands Oregon a pair of runs, none of them earned, just 1 hit, down by 6. Allie Van Brandt, only Hoosier that has left the yard today. The only Hoosier that has RBI. She's got all 3 of them. Steps in for her 2nd at-bat against Grind. First pitch in there for a strike. Van Brandt has really had an underrated year with the Hoosiers in year 2. Sophomore from Ottawa Lake, Michigan. Hit .369 last year, 7 extra base hits, didn't have a single home run. She's got 4 this year as that one misses upstairs. Got also 9 doubles and a triple. But has increased the RBI count, the number of walks. Doesn't quite have the stolen base numbers from last year. She's got 5 this year, swiped 12 bags last year, but all the power numbers are up. OPS is up over 200 points coming into this one, and only goes up after you hit a home run.
Yeah, that'll help that stat. Looks like there's some movement in the Oregon bullpen over to the left.
1-2. Van Brandt hits one the other way. That's a fair ball into left field. Skating over as Lushar gets it in. Van Brandt to second. Doesn't even need a slide. She's got 2 extra base hits today. Allie Van Brandt continues to get extra base hits. That one, she didn't hit it towards the fence or anything, but kind of in off the fish, muscles it out to left and speeds her way into second base for a leadoff double.
It was a great hit, too. Great piece of hitting from Van Brandt. Sliced it out the other way, got down right next to the foul line, and she was able to use her speed that she's gotten round and get an easy double.
Now it's the center fielder Wilkeson showing bunt, lays one down. There's one play for Greinitz to first. Good job by Jones to go cover first. as both corners were in. So sacrifice successful for Wilkeson. The third goes Allie Van Brandt with 1 out. Chance for Maddie Strader to pick up an RBI here and at least kind of stop the bleeding is what it feels like.
Yep.
Strader struck out in the second. That was when Grind struck out the side. First pitch misses outside for ball 1.
Corner infielders playing heavily in here as they want to stop Strader bunting and bringing Van Brandt home.
One out of Strader's upstairs, 2-0.
Everybody's kind of playing in the middle infielders as well, but also Lushar in left field is cheating over towards the third base foul line to try and stem the bleeding from a slap out to left field.
Huge gap in left center. Strader takes the off speed that drops in there for strike 1. 2-1 with 1 out. Runner on third is Van Brandt, who's got a pair of extra base hits today. Indiana with 3 hits as a team. 12 combined runs, 8 combined hits, I should say. Strader loses control of the bat and fouls the 2-1 straight back. Lindsey Grind, the starter for Oregon. It's her 18th start. She already has 6 complete games this year. Gives up just 3.5 hits per 7 innings. She's already given up 3 in this game. The 2-2 is right down the middle for strike 3. Strader goes down looking. Another strikeout in this game for Grind.
That's number 6 now.
Yep. She's got 76 strikeouts, approaching 140 innings pitched on the year. Josie Bird now with a chance with 2 outs to bring home Van Brandt. Fouls the first pitch back. Big spot for the freshman.
Just feels like Lindsey Grind is confident as confident can be right now.
0-1 with 2 outs. Went just off the plate.
That was fast too.
It always feels like, Andrew, during those long rain delays, there's one team that you feel benefits more. Obviously, it's the same for both teams.
Right.
You're waiting the same amount of time, and obviously Indiana's at home, so you're in your home facility, but it just felt like for Grind in particular, as Bird barrels one but hits it foul. But it felt like Grind, of all people, benefited the most just because of what happened in the first inning.
Right, she got a chance to reset.
And she was already in a groove by striking out the side and the top of the second.
Going to continue.
1-2 with 2 outs. Grind against Bird with Van Brandt on third. It's got a nice ring to it. That one misses low. A good stop from Cox.
Phenomenal.
To keep Van Brandt there.
It's a great block to keep it in front of her.
Cox is listed at 6 foot as a catcher, so a big frame. Does well to pop out over her squat. 2-2. That one is off the fist and into left field. Diving play can't be made by Lushar. Bird does the job. It's an RBI single with 2 outs. That's a big hit for the freshman. And Indiana scratch a run back. 9-4.
Big time play from the freshman. Comes up big when Indiana needed her most. And another run allowed for Grind. She's pitching well. Her offense is supporting her, but this is uncharacteristic from her.
Now it's Alex Cooper's turn. She struck out in that second. First pitch outside.
I suppose it makes a little more sense when this is the highest average hitting team in the country.
Yeah, this is statistically the best offense that, well, any pitcher's going to face all year.
Yep.
Depending on what category you look at, but certainly for Grind. Didn't have much of a problem with UCLA last week. 1-1. Obviously, different conditions. You're not at home. You know, you throw in the 3-hour time difference. One with 2 outs to Cooper. And strike 2. Cooper well late on the Grind fastball.
Under it a little bit too, I think. foul tip.
Cooper has reached in 7 straight games for the Hoosiers. Takes one. It's 2-2. That's pitch number 79 for Grind. If we are paying attention to that. He's gone over 100 twice this year, albeit many of her first starts, the number of pitches weren't recorded, so. But she didn't go very long into those games, so it makes me think that she's only pitched 100 into triple digits twice. And there is a swing and a miss. Cooper goes down swinging for the second time today. And Grind limits the damage. Indiana gets one back. An RBI single from Josie Bird after leadoff double from Allie Van Brandt. 9-4, the Ducks lead after 4 on Big Ten Plus. Busy defensively as well. So now it's Sinicki. Shows bunt, pops it up, caught by Parker. Quickly, 2 outs in the 6th. Fifth, I should say.
Stat broadcast woke up. It hurt us.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Good play by Parker to get up out of the squat. That ball had enough backspin on it where she was able to get up there and make a pretty easy catch.
Parker had problems with the bunt earlier, which had a ton of spin and hit her knee in fair territory. That was back in the first. So now it's Emma Cox, the catcher. 0 for her last 10 at the plate. One of the few Ducks hitters that is in a little bit of a slump here. Trying to break out of that, takes the first pitch inside from Taylor Hess. One and 0. That's in there right at the knees for strike 1. Hess just kind of served as that equalizer pitcher for Indiana.
Sure.
Whenever you've needed her to just get outs and keep the game moving, Hess has done that. 1-1. No swing, says first base umpire Ryan Grandy.
Yeah, Cox did a really good job to keep that bat behind the plane where it would have been called a strike. Good play.
That's one of 2 Power 5 transfers. The other one is in center field right now. It's Melina Wilkinson, formerly of Ohio State. Cox waves and misses at the 2-1. Cox, a freshman from Colorado. Her 3 brothers all played college baseball. One of them is in the San Francisco Giants organization. Won 2 high school state basketball titles. Also an all-conference selection in volleyball. To be fair, when you're 6 feet, I mentioned she was a catcher. She's the catcher. 6 feet, volleyball, being
that makes
tall.
sense.
Basketball, volleyball. I'd say the 2 sports of all of the sports out there where height matters the most.
100%.
I guess high jump might be.
Height, that helps. Yep.
Yeah.
Some, one of those. Maybe long jump a little bit, but less so.
Long strides, I could see that. 3-2, out straight back.
A lot of runners are tall, too.
Yep.
Producer Owen Graham says height is a big factor in the sport of underwater basket weaving.
Oh, really?
He is, I guess, an expert at. That might have been what they could have played to entertain us during the rain delay.
Swung on and missed strike 3. Hess says enough of that conversation. The inning is over. You'll have to wait for more underwater basket weaving talk after this happening. 1-2-3 inning for Hess. Going to the bottom of the 5th. Still
probably over 40, 50
I was thinking
people here.
50.
Yeah.
50 was the number I was looking at. That's what we can see from our vantage point.
There's plenty of people in the
us.
suite as well.
You got some people out in right center field. That adds another 10 to 15.
Oh, there's at least 20 people out there.
You're approaching 75.
Yeah.
And it's, approaching 11 o'clock here. That pitch is on the inside corner for strike 2 against Copeland. One, two. Nobody out. Copeland lines that one foul.
Just early and in off the hands, she took a big hack at that.
Those Oregon fans that are watching, thankfully for them, if they're on the West Coast, it's nearly 8 o'clock. Well, your quarterback just got taken if you're watching the NFL draft. Dylan Gabriel just got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Very well deserved for the Southpaw, number 94 overall pick. So he will be coming out to the Midwest. 5th quarterback off the board in this draft. Full count to Copeland. That is lined hard into the screen. for strike 2. Copeland struck out and lined out so far in this contest. Hitting .459 as the leadoff hitter in an inning. Takes the 2-2 again. Starting to time up Grind here. And if you're Indiana, obviously trailing 9-4, the momentum has completely been all in Oregon's favor since the rain delays. The 7th pitch of the at-bat. And it's hit hard. Nice play by Flannery. The throw across, a low one, but gloved by McCoy for the first out.
That was a hard hit ball from Copeland, so hot corner makes it look easy.
You figure you're going to see Grind again at some point, either tomorrow or Sunday. And just seeing more at-bats obviously favors the hitters more. Grind has given up 4 earned runs. Actually, the 4 earned runs, Andrew, is tied for the most she's given up all year. She gave up 4 against Minnesota.
And that's a pretty normal amount to give up for a lot of pitchers in college soccer.
I think this is going to do it for Grind. Yeah, they're looking at the bullpen.
Yep, they're bringing somebody out.
And
they definitely want to make sure she's good for the rest of the weekend.
Right. So Grind hands the ball off, exchanges pleasantries with her relief pitcher, and maybe gives some words of wisdom. Now dealing with the meat of Indiana's order with Minnick, Parker, and Mitchell.
Looks like it's Elise Sokolsky.
Redshirt junior from Arkansas. 11-2 this year with a 2.03 ERA. Those numbers aren't too shabby either.
No, this whole pitching staff is pretty loaded.
103.1 innings pitched. Opponent's hitting 196. She's got 99 strikeouts to 25 walks. Spent her freshman year at UConn. Now on the other coast. This is her 3rd year at Oregon. Past 14 NCAA tournaments. 2019 was the only exception. Obviously 2020 was wiped out because of the pandemic. First pitch that Taylor Minnick sees from Sokolsky is hit high and foul, third base side. Bounces over the concourse and the restrooms and completely out of play.
Yeah, there was a young girl who was going to try and run after that ball, but it eluded her capture.
A 1 from Sokolsky to Minnick, high and in, a little chin music. Whew, that'll wake you up.
Yeah, if you're not already. Good job to get out of the way, not a lot of time to react.
The all Pac-12 second team last year as a redshirt sophomore. Sokolsky deals to Minnick. Strike. Minnick on the all Big Ten second team a year ago, and on the Big Ten first team 2 years ago. Now the all-time RBI and doubles leader after she set that second record a few innings ago. 1-2 with 1 out. She went around for strike 3. Minnick asking Brett Higgins for some help. Kevin Condor's over at third base. I think Minnick wanted him to confirm the call. 2 outs. And first out that Sokolsky has recorded gets the Big Ten's best hitter.
Well, Avery Parker has gotten the bat on the softball today and hasn't gotten on base. She's 0 for 2, but it's a good sign she's seeing the ball well.
With the ball on the screws. First pitch swinging. Goes after it and fouls it off.
Yeah, line out to left field and then a pretty deep fly out to straightaway center in the 3rd.
Sokolsky last pitched 6 days ago in that run rule loss to UCLA. 4 innings, 4 runs, just 2 of them earned, but 5 hits, 2 walks to 3 Ks. I should say 3 walks to 0 Ks. 74 pitches in the 8-0 defeat. Just the second loss of the year. Oregon has lost just 5 games overall. 1-1 to Parker. There's a drop ball that finds the plate for strike 2.
Tough pitch to hit.
One and 2. Sokolsky to Parker. That misses outside.
The Oregon dugout You would think it's 9 in the morning based on how energetic these Ducks are out to the left side of this field.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on in the bottom of the 5th. Oregon up 9-4 in a game marred by a big rain delay. Parker chops one foul and stays alive. Oregon rattled off a 17-game win streak from the middle of February all the way to the beginning of March. Actually, it was a month in between the first win and that, over a month between the first win and that 17th win. Parker hits one on the ground. Another chance for the third baseman, Flannery. Throws out Parker. A nice 1-2-3 inning by the Ducks. Grind hands the ball off to Sokolsky, who has now recorded 200 innings in her career at Oregon. And Worthington's done well, though, in this draft. There's one off the end of the bat into center field for a dink single by Jones to score Patman. And Oregon has hit double digits. They're up 10-4.
Yeah, it's just one that gets down, finds a hole right in the middle of the infield. That's all you need. An RBI is an RBI. Now, Kaylin Jones is on for the 4th time today.
Gets her second hit. Rose has been on base 3 times, and now she steps in, but all of them have been via the walk. First pitch to Rosa is inside.
Oregon has scored 10 runs while leaving 8 on the base paths.
1-0 from Hess. There's a half swing, and going around is Rosa. Makes it 1-1. 1-1 from Hess off the end of the bat. Caught by Birch. She'll step on first. Unassisted double play.
That was excellent from Bird. Good awareness. I thought she was going to turn around and tag Jones trying to get back to first, but she went and strode for the bag and barely got there in time.
Flannery swings at the first pitch in the air, right to second base, caught by Van Brandt. And just like that, 2 pitches, the side is retired. The Ducks get another run on 2 hits. A leadoff triple from Patman and a single up the middle from Jones for the SID for Oregon. He said, hey, this one's on me in terms of the rain delay. He said, we've been in this before, and he said, I'll take blame for this one right as the tarp was being brought out. The 0-2 is low and inside.
He's claiming he's the bad luck charm?
I guess.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. He's helped us.
Tremendously.
So we'll give him a pass this time.
Yep. Now, if it rains tomorrow,
then there's going to be problems.
There's this ball snared at third by Flannery. Mitchell had to wait back on the off speed. Ball is probably going to go foul. Flannery didn't catch it, but it's grabbed for the first out of the 6th.
Everybody who's stayed on today has done a job, and they deserve props for it. Grounds crew, tech crew, the fans.
Allie Van Brandt's done a great job today.
Yeah, good lead in. She's been the best hitter for Indiana today.
A home run and a double, 3 RBIs to her name. Got the on-base percentage just 3 points below 500.
Pretty darn good.
Chops that one foul, rolls one over. Goes past McCoy down the right field line. 1-1. Van Brandt, who has 5 high school records to her name, also has 4 volleyball letters. Michigan Miss Softball in 2023. Last year on the All Big Ten second team, freshman team, and all tournament team. Indiana went all the way to the Big Ten championship. One and one with one out. The pitch from Sokolsky is in there for strike 2. Oregon, the last few years, kind of been a few games under or over 500 in Pac-12 play. They had 30 wins last year, 13 in Pac-12 play.
Well, that was a really good conference. That was a stacked
That was an insane conference. You're right. Van Brandt hits that one on the ground to short. Sinicki the toss across for the second out. Just like that, the last 6 Hoosiers have been retired after Josie Bird had an RBI single in the 4th.
Just goes to show you how quick this Oregon defense and pitching staff just flip it into a different gear.
Wilkeson now steps back up, the center fielder, who was 1 for her last 15 at the plate coming into Wednesday's game, but did go 3 for 4 with a triple and 2 singles. But today, a ground out and a sac bunt. So she's only 0 for 1, excuse me. Sokolsky rocks and fires the 0-1 home. That's low. The All Pac-12 second team a year ago, Sokolsky, making her 31st appearance this year. 1-1 to Wilkeson. There's strike 2.
It's a 1-2 punch of Grine and then Sokolsky. You think, hey, I'm forced Lindsey Grine out of the game, which is kind of an achievement in and of itself, and then Sokolsky's there who will just shut you down.
And Stacey Chambers also has a sub-2 ERA in 17 innings. Wilkeson into right center field. That'll drop in for a 2-out knock.
Ends the out streak. Finally somebody's on for Indiana.
Just the 5th hit of the game for Indiana.
This has been a weird softball game.
I'd say.
Not just
and we've
because
seen
of the
some
rain
weird
delay.
ones this year, Andrew. We've
Yeah.
seen some really weird games here at Andy Moore Field.
I feel like the weirdest one has to be that 20-10.
Maryland game, that's one.
Yeah, because that was a rain delay.
There was an Iowa high-scoring game early on for the Hoosiers in their first Big Ten series. They lost 7-6, but the game had a lot more than that.
Doesn't tell the full story.
Right, and then they lost 14-13 against Penn State. So this one is going to get thrown in there.
Yeah.
I don't know where this ranks in terms of kind of the wonkiest games for Oregon.
I think they've had it pretty.
They've won a bunch of games via the run rule this year.
Yeah. This has got to be the longest game they've played.
Oh, totally. Wilkeson on base, a threat to steal. She's got 19 swiped bags. Took another one on Wednesday against Ball State. Indiana won that one 14-1.
That was efficient.
To get to 30 wins on the year for the 3rd straight year. First pitch is low to Maddie Strader. 8-game hitting streak is potentially on the line here for Strader, who has the average at 440 right now. On base percentage above 500 for the freshman. That was one straight off the top of the netting, and it careened
Straight back to the
into
pitcher.
play.
Perfect. Easy does it.
Strader has 3 doubles and 3 triples this year. Does not have a home run yet in her Indiana career. Down 10-4 to Oregon. One with 2 outs. That's upstairs.
I just go back to why this game has been weird outside of the rain delay, and we've seen some crazy catches. We saw that Ali Van Brandt home run. That was a no-doubter. Really everything that you can have.
2-1 to Strader with a runner on the move is fouled straight back.
We've seen an unassisted double play.
Yep. Oregon, get this, Andrew, has been ranked in 82 of the last 83 polls nationally.
Wow. All right. I mean, that'll play.
The 41-5 start is the best start in program history. And this is just a force to be reckoned with. And you talked about how tough the Pac-12 was. You feel like the Big Ten has the chance the next few years to really get there. Strader hits one high in the air, foul side of first. It goes over the netting and out of play towards the end of the Indiana dugout.
Yeah, you look at it, the Big Ten is only going to get better as, you know, the level of competition rises and the teams kind of learn about each other and their new conference mates. New rivalries develop.
Yep.
There's been detractors to the new teams, but I think it's been a net positive.
Very. 2-2 with 2 outs. Strader fouls one off. Yeah, 17 teams in the new Big Ten. USC does not have softball.
Which is odd, when you think
is.
about it.
Yeah, it is. Wisconsin not having baseball.
That makes sense.
A little bit
right.
more sense, right.
You would think if there's a program who's not going to have a baseball team, it would be Minnesota, but they play half their games inside the Viking Stadium anyway.
2-2 with 2 outs to Strader again. That's low for ball 3. We came into this academic year, let's say 7 months ago, and we figured, how are the West Coast teams going to do in this new conference?
Right.
Football season, look what Oregon did. Won the Big Ten.
They were fantastic.
Basketball season, a little bit more challenging. Obviously, with more travel, you're playing more than once a week. Strader lines one up the middle, into center field for a base hit. A little 2-out rally brewing for the Hoosiers here. Wilkinson gets to second base. Strader has the hitting streak at 9.
The other thing I think to that point, especially in basketball, in women's basketball is a completely different story.
You're right. USC and UCLA dominated.
Fantastic teams. Oregon and Washington were solid as well, but the 2 California teams, unbelievable. On the men's side of things, the Big Ten has always been neck and neck with the SEC as the premier. Well, that goes back and forth all the time. There's the ACC, but the Big Ten is definitely up there in competitive basketball leagues. With teams Purdue, Michigan State.
It proves that these West Coast teams are here to stay.
Oh, for sure.
Oregon and UCLA here on the softball diamond are showing that firsthand. Back throw to second. Wilkinson trying to go for third, and she's in there. Well, not the most conventional way to swipe a base, but was caught between second and third. A good back pick from Cox. But in the end, Wilkinson's going to get credit for her 20th stolen base of the year.
She's quick. She's the leader for a reason.
Another chance for Bird to drive in a run. 1-1. There's a strike. The throw goes to second all the way through with Strader trying to steal, but she scampers back to first. Well executed by the Ducks.
It was also well executed. The idea is to draw attention away from Wilkinson at third to hopefully get her to come in to score a pretty big run.
The 1-2 with 2 outs to Bird. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Sokolsky gets out of trouble. 2-out rally for Indiana falls a little bit short. And we'll head to the final inning. Finally, it's the 7th. It's still 10-4. Oregon looking for a little more insurance. Will step aside. Have strung together enough quality at-bats to scrape 10 runs across. First pitch to Kai Lushar, the leadoff hitter, is a strike.
The other thing, if there's viewers who have stayed with us through the weather delay, props. Because it's a long time to wait.
I take it it's more Oregon fans than Indiana fans at this rate, just because of the time change.
It's possible. Definitely in the cards. Who knows?
Lushar today with 3 hits. Can't quite get a 4th. Minnick does a good job on the run.
Great play by Minnick to read the slap. She was going for that every pitch there in that at-bat. Ran up on it and was positioned in the right spot to make a play.
So line out for Kai. Now brings up Riley McCoy. She hits that one high in the air into the Indiana night. And once it comes down, Wilkinson sees it into the glove. Quickly 2 up, 2 down for Taylor Hess.
I think on 2, no, not on 2 pitches. But yeah, efficiency, and Indiana with only 3 outs left on the offensive side of things, looking to make this one closer.
Hess's line so far here, 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 of them earned, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts.
She's been really good.
And going back to what I was been thinking about this, Jasmine Reyes officially went in the book and did not record a single out. She was, remember, Andrew?
Is she in the book?
Yes.
Wow.
Because once you bring out the lineup card and once you pencil her in and officially make the change, even with the weather delay, although she didn't throw a pitch, you essentially burn her. So this, I assume.
So, I mean, that'll go in as an appearance.
Yeah, I think so. You're right.
That's got to be the weirdest part of this game.
That could be. So that is why basically Indiana lost a pitcher, and I thought about it during the weather delay. I mean, I had 3 hours to think about whatever, as The older Lushar lays down a bunt, will get to first, and even more than that, rounding second, she'll go to third. The throw from Kinsey Mitchell. Now they have Lushar caught between second and third. Strader applies the tag, and that does it. Well, that is a weird and wonky play which describes this game perfectly in a nutshell. Trying to bunt herself on, Kedri Lushar reached first, reached second, then saw a really good throw from Mitchell and was caught in a rundown. For Copeland and Minnick, the last hope for Indiana, trying to bring some magic here to Andy Moore Field. First pitch is upstairs for ball one.
Wouldn't that be something if they can string something together here?
When leading after 6 innings, Oregon this year 36-0. They have 203 wins and just 2 losses under Melissa Lombardi, their 7th-year head coach. That pitch is on the outside corner for strike one. They've won 38 straight games when leading entering the final frame. So not to say it's impossible, but Indiana definitely knows their back's up or against the wall.
Yep.
They had their chances early. Cooper, a high fly ball, not very deep. Shallow right field, back is Jones, and she's got it for out number 1. Cooper's 7-game on base streak surely going to come to an end after that pop up. And someone else who has a hitting streak on the line is Bree Copeland. She's 0 for 3 today. 4-game hitting streak, hanging by a thread. Both Sokolsky and Hess have done really well in relief, albeit grind pitched much longer than Copeland did. There's a strike to Bree. Teams will face off tomorrow, 1 o'clock start, as will be on Sunday. This 3-game set. 0-1 outside for ball 1.
Sokolsky's been efficient too.
Yep. Indiana right now 14-3 at home this year. They were 14-6 at home last year. So if they win a single game in this 3-game series, they'll have a better record at home than they did last year. That one up the middle, over to her left is Sinicki, and a strong throw gets Copeland for the second out, and the Hoosiers are down to their final out. Oregon 1 away from taking game 1.
Yeah, the strongest part about that is the footwork there from Sinicki. That's an impressive play.
So Taylor Minnick is the last hope. She's got a double and a walk, a run scored today. She's got a 13-game hitting streak. That will continue into tomorrow. Minnick hitting from the left side. Face Sokolsky once struck out on a 3/4 swing. Takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Lombardi in her 7th year as the Oregon head coach. Graduated from Oklahoma in 1997. She's 226 and 111 at Oregon, down to be 227 very soon. Spent 21 years as an assistant at Oklahoma. The numbers for her are insane, as there's a strike on the outside corner. 4 national championships. She's been to 12 Women's College World Series, albeit 1 with Oregon. 25 NCAA tournaments. She's been in coaching for 28 years. She's made the tournament in 25 of 28.
Wow. It's quite the resume.
Minnick pulls that one just foul. And the Hoosiers are down to their final strike. Indiana had Oregon definitely, on their heels in the first inning.
Yeah.
This place was buzzing after that 3-run home run from Allie Van Brandt in the first.
And look what's still going out there in right center field. That tailgate is still going strong.
Still got some trunks open.
I love it.
A few people got their keys ready to hit unlock and
get out of here. Yep.
Try and beat this whatever rush is out of Andy Moore Field. The 1-2 is low. Oregon going to improve to 12-2 on the road this year. 2-2 with 2 outs. Swung on, lifted in the air, out to left center field. This will stay in the yard. Kai Lushar calls off her younger sister, and that does it for this lengthy game. It comes to an end on base. Andrew, a lengthy game, kind of felt like 2 games in one, essentially. A tight ball game before the rain delay, and afterwards, 8-1 was the difference after the delay.
Yeah, very much so. But I think Indiana can take some solace in the fact that they got to Oregon